Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. John Smith has a choice to make, maid or matron. This is Family of Blood. It's actually the Family of Blood. Hello everyone, my name's Nathan. Welcome to Still Got Legs, the only Doctor Who podcast in the world. It's the only one that exists. Don't go looking for any others. Did I say my name? Well, it's Nathan, and I'm joined by Lawrence, who's my co-host. He's here too.
Hello Nathan, I am here too. How the devil are you? That rhymed.
I'm good. I'm very lovely.
You were going to you took a beat there because you were figuring out how to insult me. But nothing came, so you just feigned niceness.
Well, I know you have to have a quick edit on this one. So I was like,
but don't sacrifice the integrity of who you are,
I considered it for a second, and then I was like, it's not worth it, so I just carried on. Yes, I was searching for an insult.
Just faux niceness. Outrageous behaviour from you.
Yes, indeed. What's going on?
Not much, man. Docky Who. I'm keeping up with that show. Don't know about you.
I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Pretty much throw a spanner into the works if that wasn't the case. But yes, we are, of course, here to discuss Doctor Who Series 3, Episode 9, The Family of Blood, written once again by Paul Cornell and directed by Charles Palmer, the same team from last week, as this is part 2 of a 2-part story. We're wrapping up the Family of Blood saga. How are you feeling?
The saga. The Family of Blood saga.
What would you call it?
The end of an incredible era, Nate.
You got a problem?
No, I haven't. I apologise. I think maybe because you feigned niceness, I was like, now I can get him back. I saw my opportunity and I went for it. People will be happy to know that we're not recalling an episode we've already recorded this week.
What? Yeah? No, okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's fresh. It's fresh. We didn't
but
record
the last
2.
one was fresh as well. You're making terrible points today.
That's fair. I'll accept it. But speaking of pointing, son of mine is pointing a gun at at Martha and Joan, like the cliffhanger suggested. I said last week I was keen to revisit this because I couldn't remember what... Now that obviously John Smith doesn't have his sonic screwdriver, there's no TARDIS kind of intervention to get them out of this. That's normally how a cliffhanger is resolved. It's just some sonic trickery, and I was excited.
Not really.
Oh, it's a lot of it. It is a lot of it.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You just make stuff up because you don't like the Sonic.
Okay, the Age of Steel, Sonicked.
No, not Sonic. Little Crystal from the TARDIS.
Oh, okay, right, so Sonic or the TARDIS then?
No, Little Crystal, which is from the TARDIS, but it's neither.
All right, it's part of the TARDIS. It counts as part of the TARDIS.
Does it?
Yeah, it's part of the TARDIS.
Oh, all right. I mean, that's a stretch, but sure.
All right,
it's not the TARDIS, though, is it?
Okay, no, fine. It's not the physical TARDIS. It's a part of it.
All right, come on then. What else does he use?
But if I had a cake and then I cut you a slice of cake, that's still cake.
Yeah, but it's not a slice of the TARDIS, though, is it?
No, it's a part of it though. That
a little crystal, which we've never seen before, which is used exclusively for this episode, is not just a part of the TARDIS.
The Daleks and New York one, whatever the second one, Evolution of the Daleks, Sonic the Radio.
After a bit. Yeah,
but still got him out of a tough spot.
I would argue it was a different situation. It wasn't like the episode didn't end with like hit anyone like at gunpoint and almost dying.
Fine, all right, fine. But this one,
no other examples.
No, I run off the top of my head. No, go back and listen to every other episode of this. I've mentioned it a few times. It does happen. It happens frequently.
It doesn't. You're just making it up because you don't like the Sonic.
No, it's not that I don't like the Sonic. I have no beef with the Sonic. I just think it is always the get out of jail free card for a cliffhanger.
It's not though. And I just proved it isn't.
Where was this energy defending the Sonic last week?
If you want me to, I'll go through every 2-parter right now and prove it's not.
No one has time for that, least of all me. I've got a tight turnaround, Nathan. All right, but it's not the Sonic, it's not the TARDIS, but it is still some Time Lord shenanigan business.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it's still a little MacGuffin that does a little thing.
Yeah, that draws some attention away.
Do you know, I also, when I was watching this episode, I was excited to see what the thing would be to get them out of the situation, because I couldn't remember it. I was like, oh, I wonder how it's done. I wonder like what the thing is to get them out with this little cliffhanger. And then like as soon as the episode started, I just remembered, and I was like, oh shit, okay. That's kind of annoying.
What, like before it happened, you went, oh, hang on, yeah.
Like literally the theme song ended and he was like, which one will you choose, Doc? And I was like, oh, Tommy. Yeah, okay. I remember now.
Is his name Tommy?
His name is Tommy, yeah.
Every single one of my notes about him says Timmy.
Oh, shit. No, it is Timmy. Sorry, it is Timmy. Sorry.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so you've been humbled. That's fine. I thought I was about to take the fattest L on this show so far.
No, he's the little boy anyway.
Yeah, love Actually, little boy. But yeah, so he opens the watch. It's the equivalent of like, you know, if you want to get a dog's attention, you squeak a toy, and they go, "What's that? Whoa, hang on, what's going on over there?" They do that, but the real resolution is Martha pulls this sick like switch 'em up cowboy move and just takes the gun. Which she has a second. Where they're distracted by the essence of the Time Lord. So she gets to just like do a quick, like James Bond, quick hit and grab the gun maneuver and be like, aha, now I'm on you. I think it's sick. Do you reckon, like, I know Martha is definitely a better person than me. I'd have shot him. I would have shot. They're hunting, right? They're gonna die some way or another. It's not like the Doctor isn't actively trying to give them mercy. He's waiting for them to die. I'd have shot him.
We'll talk about the reasons for all that later on. But like, I mean, yes, you're right. But there's a reason you're not traveling with the Doctor, Lawrence. Right? Yeah.
I would not pass the test.
No, you wouldn't. You're just bloodthirsty and immediately looking for the quick kill, and it's like, maybe this isn't for you, mate.
You know when Donna was like, stop drowning the Ragnos, you can let it go now. I would be like, go on, Doctor, fucking drown.
Exactly. And then look what would have happened. The Doctor would have died.
It's true. Yeah, I'm a bad influence. I shouldn't be traveling with him.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You telling me you wouldn't have pulled the trigger?
Probably not, if I'm being honest. No.
No, you waffle. That's nonsense. You wouldn't kill these people.
To be honest, no, Lawrence. I'm not trying to be like, I'm so good. I mean, like, killing I couldn't kill anyone.
I don't think I could, like, I'm not going out. There's a difference between going out and passively being like, I reckon I might kill someone. And, like, an alien that is trying to kill you, and you have one up on him.
All right, but here's the thing, though. Keep in mind, this alien looks very human, as in, like, identical to a human, okay?
Yeah,
You've got a gun, okay, and you know that when you pull the trigger, you're essentially just going to kill that human, all right? You really think you could?
But that's the thing. I've seen this episode of Doctor Who, and when the headmaster, like hesitated about killing that girl, she took her shot. I'm not going to turn into one of them stories, Nathan.
All right, but in this scenario, you obviously haven't seen the episode of Doctor Who because you're fucking in it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. Unless I've worked up to this point and gone like, this is really familiar. Well,
exactly.
All right, fine. I don't know if I could. Let's sweep over this ethical minefield of discussion.
Great.
What I do like about this scene is how, like, obviously when Martha gets it and like everyone kind of starts ushering out of the building, it's really interesting to watch. Like, this is the Doctor's element normally.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see, like, I know he's the Doctor, but John Smith, yeah. Yeah, to not call him the Doctor in the scene because he's not intentionally acting as the Doctor. It's really, really interesting to just see him crumble, just to have no fucking clue what to do.
It's interesting to see how fucking useless he is. Yeah. He's just a bumbling idiot, and he's just like completely freezes up with absolutely no idea what to do. He's just staring with a scared little look on his face because he's not the Doctor. He's weird little nerdy John Smith who throws cricket balls at pianos and drew artists.
He should have done a Looney Tunes maneuver. he should have been like, I got this.
There's some the Time Lord instincts kick in at some odd moments. They choose some odd moments to kick in. Like, sure, he'll save a baby from being crushed by a piano, but he won't save the village dancers from being killed by this. But
He's
hey.
like, look, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What can I say?
It's true. It's true. Yeah, he is. It is very interesting to see him just like. Martha even says, like, "You're fucking useless." It's not that word. It's Doctor Who, but she
turns around and is like, "You're fucking useless."
She says, "You're useless as a human," and he is. They all escape, but then they're just stood outside the village hall, just like waiting around. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, they're just inside. Go.
Yeah, I love that when like Martha comes out and he's just stood there, and she's like, "Fucking move, go!"
Yeah. It is quite stupid of them, but
I do like we spoke last week, like how the vibe was very much there's an aura of we don't quite know exactly what's happening until like a little bit into the episode.
Yes.
And like how it's kind of, we know obviously that it's still the Doctor and just something has happened, but there is an element of mystery. Who are the family of blood? Why are these people getting taken? All of this stuff. I like that in this one. They just like even Son of Mine says it, like the gloves are off at a certain point. It's just like, it's war. Let's have a war.
Yeah.
And I like that you don't tiptoe around that too much, which is
there's
good.
no more hiding. The veil has been lifted. There's no need for cloak and dagger and secrecy. It's just war. Let's fuck. We got one chance to get the Doctor and get what we want. Otherwise, we're dead. So we might as well just fucking go for it. So
yeah, and it also like it's obviously for again we don't. I don't think it's ever been established, maybe in something else kind of outside of the main show, but like this is either a family or a species or something of just like incredibly talented predators. So like it makes sense. They get themselves into a position and then they flip the table. Then they turn it all around and go, yeah, we're actually going to bomb you all now that you're all confused and scared. Yeah, really cool. I love a little... I can't think of many other examples of it, but I love like a little local town having to defend against something. I think it's such a cool little concept.
Like a Seven Samurai sort of thing. It's been... I think it's what Rebel Moon is going to be, Zack Snyder's Star Wars, because he wanted to make a Star Wars movie based on Seven Samurai, not knowing that it had already been done twice on 2 separate occasions in Star Wars. It's an episode of the Clone Wars and it's an episode of the Mandalorian. So let's just have another one, I guess.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't think it's been explored properly. There's 2 hours worth of it out there already or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. There's another episode. There's another episode later in Doctor Who, which is very much like Seven Samurai, that kind of thing focused. Like, but more so in like, you know, they have to train the town to defend against the bandits coming in and stuff. So,
have I seen that one?
Probably
that one
not.
I know?
No, it's a Peter Capaldi episode, so probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, it's a cool concept. It works really, really well. It does this. There's an element of like, and I know the episode in like I wrote it down like that's a good insight, and then the episode goes out of its way to like drum it home, and I'm like, okay, it's more obvious in retrospect now. It's not. I don't feel as cool for mentioning it.
Drum what home?
The how like it's weird and unnatural to see the Doctor call people to arms.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And how it's
well, he's not the Doctor. That's the thing. The whole point is John Smith and the Doctor are 2 very different people, really. So, like, I mean, last week's episode where fucking, you know, the little boy was messing up whilst they're shooting the gun. First of all, he wouldn't have had children shooting a gun anyway, but he wouldn't have just stood there and be like, yeah, go on, go beat the shit out of him. Like, that's not the Doctor. So
yeah. Permission to beat him? Yeah, crack on, man.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
But he's like overseeing like I don't know what they're doing. I've never held a gun in my life, but like I guess like he's overseeing the putting together of all the parts that they need or whatever the fuck. But like he's instrumental. Like he's ordering everyone around, and it's weird. It is weird to see.
This is a great little sequence. When the scarecrows all, you know, activate and come in, they start lumbering through to the school and stuff, and then you've just got children, boys, terrified out of their minds, all crying while holding guns and looking absolutely ridiculous because it's like a 12-year-old with a fucking rifle and stuff. And it's just, this whole sequence is just so well done. And the fact that like once the shooting starts, it's then paired with this like the school choir song playing over the top of it, and the slow kind of like fading in and out of the Scarecrow's been gunned down and stuff. It's really well done. I think this whole episode, there's some really well done moments of like filmmaking, and this one in particular is quite interesting and quite haunting, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're just shooting at scarecrows, but like this message still comes across that these are just still boys scared out of their minds, really.
Well, the Son of Mine character, like, he makes no secret. Like, he refers to the Scarecrows as his army, like, relentlessly. Like, this, I know they're not like living and breathing or whatever, but they're mobile humanoid figures.
Yeah,
that are just getting mowed down. And it's when you're right, when you see like 12-year-olds holding rifles and shit, and obviously we know what the episode's speaking about, but like we know that a lot of those boys aren't going to be there. And like, we joked last week about how like they're all racist and everything, but like World War One is still a fucking tragedy. Like it's still horrible.
Yeah,
that so many people died.
Yeah, but they are all racist. So
they are all racist. I'm not going to say they all didn't deserve it. There's definitely a few that deserved it. There's some rotten apples in there for sure.
Last week we talked about, I don't know his name, but the actor who plays Baines and his crackers of lines, and he had another great one here when he goes, "Good evening, headmaster. Do you like them, headmaster? You come to give me a cane, sir?" Or whatever he said. It's just another just straight barreling like 4 lines together in one.
I can't tell if Son of Mine like is like not adapted to this like a human, maybe like we don't even know how they speak, like a human voice box could be a transition for him, like we like maybe he's dealing with like part of Baines's consciousness because he obviously remembers certain qualities, but like I don't know what it is, but or what I like my headcanon is just that Son of Mine is just really cunty. Like he's just really happy to be sarcastic and like snipey for no reason whatsoever. I love it. Very, very good stuff. I wrote this down as well. Just when I was like getting annoyed by like Timmy not handing over the watch that is obviously important.
Yeah.
I was like, why does he keep fucking running away with it? Like, just give it to someone, like not the family of blood, obviously, but like give it to like Martha, who is basically spending the entire episode going, "Where's this fucking watch? I need it." But something I forgot was that the Doctor's consciousness is like instructing him. He's like, "Keep me hidden, the time's not right," or something.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a fault with the episode. I'm more keen to get your opinion on it. Like when the time came, was it the right time? Because I just felt like more people died before the time came.
What do you mean?
Like when the stars aligned, when it was time for Timmy to give the watch over.
Yeah. I
feel like, I don't know, it's weird placing that like after a bombing when the moment could have been right probably before the bombing. Like,
yeah. They never make it explicit if anyone dies in the bombing. Like,
yeah, they could just be blowing up fields.
Yeah, exactly. There is a lot
they don't
of
know
fields.
humans. Yeah.
There is a lot of fields in the area. Like, it's never explicitly said, but I mean maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
they don't know human culture. They could just be bombing grass and being like, "We getting them. Let's go."
I think they know what humans look like. I don't think they're bombing grass and be like, "Yeah, got him." Like,
no, but they might not be looking. They might just be like passively just bombing the area, not zeroing in on any targets. But like, there's definitely people out there that we're hitting.
I think they are. I think it's more of an intimidation strategy than an actual attack, really, because if they do blow him up, then what?
I mean, yeah, true.
So, yeah, I think it's more just shelling, really. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to the little boy and his little watch, you see, I kept finding myself getting annoyed whenever he opened it, because I kind of had it in my head that like, whenever he opened the watch and the energy came out, I'm like, oh no, you're losing some of the Doctor's energy. Like, he's going to be...
Oh, right.
Like, he needs all of it, otherwise he's not... Do you know what I mean?
He opens it and, like, the Doctor's like, whoa, hang on, where's my finger? What's this about?
Like, his health bar will be at, like, 75 when he gets it back or whatever. And I'm like, that's not how it works.
Splash.
Yeah, that's not how it works, obviously. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
he
had
straight
it
up
in my
uses
head.
it as a weapon later on, doesn't he? He's like,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He fucking blasts it at her, and I was getting annoyed by that. But that's my fault, really. I guess I just interpreted it wrong.
It does feel like that would be the case, though.
It's not, though. It's not. No, it's just it's I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. Time Lord
It's
science.
just one of them Doctor Who things that you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you watch the show, you get it by now. Like, it's one of them ones, yeah. You were saying that funny thing about, like, it's like an intimidation tactic. That was something I wanted to say just after that silly line where he's like, good afternoon, or good evening, headmaster, blah, 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 like, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Son of mine, like, what I found really, really interesting is that he says it in a private moment to his mother. It's so weird referring to these people like, what angle should I call her? Wife of mine, mother of mine? I don't know which one to call her.
You can call her both. They do. They call each other all variations.
I know, but because she's nothing to me. She's not my wife or my mother. So what do I call her?
Oh, I see. Jenny of mine.
Jenny, alien Jenny.
Yeah.
So he is like a private moment with alien Jenny where he's like, he acknowledges that, like, human guns could be a problem in the bodies that they're in.
Yeah.
They actually might stand a chance with human weapons.
Yeah.
And so instead, he, like, and maybe this is why he does that weird amalgamation of, like, a 4-line combination. He just decides to, like, his weapon of fear is just creeping everyone the fuck out. And, like, intentionally sparking fear in the headmaster, and then, like, getting in his head. Like, he kills his mate and then, like, sends him off, like, go get John Smith for me. Like, he comes at it from a more, like, he doesn't just go in, like, pointing a gun because he knows he'd probably get a bullet.
Yeah.
He comes in more measured and, like, wanting to play the long game and creeping them out a little bit so he has the upper hand.
Yeah, he's smarter than just walking in there and just shooting until he gets killed himself, because he knows that's not necessarily going to work out from him. That's not his strong suit. So, yeah, send in the little scarecrow boys.
And he's like, what does he say? He's like, how many of these boys do you reckon, like, a year's time? Well, like, but he's psyching him the fuck out, because he's saying, like, the headmaster doesn't know there's a war happening in a year.
Yeah.
But he's like, in a year's time, do you reckon these boys will thank you? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What's going on?
Yeah.
He has no idea what's happening by the end of it.
It's true.
But yeah, do you want to talk about the roast of the century, the absolute wrecking that Joan receives from one Martha Jones?
I want to talk about your favorite character, Joan, and why.
Why is this?
And why last week you were, like, singing her praises and being like, Joan can do no wrong.
Was I ever saying this?
Yeah, but then here we are, a slice of humble pie for you, I think.
No, not really. I'm so glad I teed that up the way I did. I'm on the right side of history. But yeah, she's like, women aren't doctors, especially not women of your colour, and then Martha just fucking schools her unbelievably hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great
But then Joan is like, well, you just read that in a book. And Martha's like, yeah, I did. When I was studying to be a doctor, you dickhead.
Where the fuck would anyone else read it? That's not an instinct. You don't know this stuff without knowing it. Oh, Jesus.
Martha's great. Martha's so good in this episode. She's got so much shit to deal with from every different direction. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that whether we like it or not, the man she fucking supposedly loves is treating her like shit and going after this other woman. And then she's got to fucking deal with her family, and then she's got to deal with the fact that the doctor's just a fucking idiot who doesn't know who he is and all this sort of stuff. She must be so stressed, man. She deserves a week in a spa after this.
She does. They should have taken her to a spa full stop. We said this last week anyway. Yeah. But at least she's earned it now. Like, she deserves that time off.
100%.
What I'd like is, like, on top of that, like, as well, all of that stress going on, and then, like, there's alien hunters in the village, but still she'll walk into, like, a village hall and someone's like, hang on, you can't go in there because of your skin color, and she's like, really, dude? Like, now?
As if all of that wasn't bad enough, she's also got racism to deal with on top of
from
it.
Everyone she walks past.
Exactly. Oh, but, poor Martha, man.
My next note, and I'll do my best to say this phonetically. My next note is just in quotes. I found his TARDIS.
His TARDIS.
He finds his TARDIS. Then what happens? Oh, you get that really nice scene where Joan is, like, asking John Smith about, like, where he grew up, and she's just having that conversation with him. I think as he's, like, getting ready to go and fight with the boys or something.
Yeah.
And you get that. Huh?
That sounds weird.
Yeah. Gonna have a tussle with the lads.
Yeah.
But you get that scene where and you because obviously
where she's asking him where he grew up, and he's just basically reading the Wikipedia entry for Nottingham, basically.
Yeah. He's like, oh, it's a couple miles north of this lovely river, and she's like, what? That doesn't mean anything, bro.
Yeah.
Like, where did you grow up? Tell me all
literally just facts that the TARDIS put in his head to flesh it out, basically. But
it's sad to watch him flail as well, like because you can so tell that he wishes he could remember more than that.
This is what I was saying last week. Like this week we have some truly incredible performances, and the standout is David Tennant, because watching him struggle and try to come to terms, but also just be in complete denial about the fact that he essentially doesn't exist, that his whole life is a lie. It's so good. It's so good watching him try to wrestle and struggle with that. And when when they see the TARDIS and he's breaking down and he's flat out denying, like, no, I've never seen that. I'm like, no, you have. Yeah. And then he just fully breaks down. And he's like, am I not enough? Am I what? I want to be me. I don't want to be the Doctor, and all this sort of stuff. It's so good. He's so fucking good at all that stuff, man.
It's really it's an insanely talented performance, because what he's effectively playing is half a person.
Yeah.
Because he is half a person. He's literally, like you just said, he's got what the TARDIS put in his head, and that's it.
Yeah.
But that person still isn't devoid of emotion and feeling, and he wishes he could remember more that he can't. And you're right, when he sees the TARDIS, it's just indisputable evidence that this is real, and the story's being real is implying he's not, and he's just oh god, can you imagine if someone told you your entire existence is just nonsense, it's just a story? Fucked, dude. It's so fun, and he plays it so well. It's really, really good.
There's a moment a little bit later when they're in the house where he kind of snaps at Martha and is like, well, what do you do? What's the point of you? Why are you with him? And she tells her it's he's lonely, and he's like, oh, and that's what you want me to be? You want me to just essentially kill myself so I can be lonely?
So I can be a lonely alien.
Yeah. And the fact that John Smith asks Martha, why did you just stand by and let me have a relationship with Joan then? Why did you let this happen? And she was like, I tried to, but he didn't warn me. And he's like, that never occurred to him? Yeah. Falling in love was one thing that was not even a possibility to him. And then you think about that and you're like, yeah, that's kind of, that is pretty fucked, really.
It's fucked. And what I think this episode managed to capture really well in that vein was we're always used to seeing stuff from the Doctor's point of view.
Yeah.
We're used to seeing he's normally, and also normally he's the best person in the scenario, because he's put up against people that would do harm, and would he's always the hero. That's the Doctor is an archetypal hero character.
Yeah.
Typically do no wrong. He can do wrong, but it's always in the service of doing something good. And what I just think is really interesting is that we're always on side with that. But when you remove him from the main bulk of this two-parter story, that being the essence of the actual Doctor, it just kind of, it puts into perspective how fucked of a choice this is. The Doctor's plan was essentially to conceptualize a man with a ticking time limit of his own life. He was always gonna, in 2 months, 3 months, the Doctor was just happy getting rid of this person. Yeah.
Yeah. To take over and to slot back in his place and to just scurry off, basically. Yeah.
It's fucked. Counting down the days until he dies. It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Never occurred to him that he could meet someone he fell in love with and all this sort of stuff. It just wasn't a possibility, which I guess, that's the humanity of it. That is the human nature. That's to him, that's just it's not a plausible concept. Sure, maybe this is even something to do with Rose. Maybe he's just so fucking burnt out after that he can't see it being a possibility or something. I don't know, but yeah.
I thought about Rose as well, because falling in love does occur to him. It's happened.
It has happened, yeah, but
also in the heat of certain things, the Doctor doesn't take a moment to consider small things.
No, yeah.
He just always goes. He's running into that TARDIS. He went, I've got it. That's what we're doing. Roll with it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously
100%.
Martha went to the toilet and he recorded a little message for her. So he had a bit of time, I guess.
He recorded that message at some point. We still don't know quite when, but yeah.
He froze Martha with the sonic screwdriver in time and went, "Hang on, I've got to record this one."
Yeah. So the little boy comes to the house and he's like, "Here's a watch."
Yeah, he's like, "Enough people have died now. I've been counting, so you can have the watch now."
Here's a little watch. And then we just get more just fucking incredible performances and more David Tennant wrestling with himself and humanity. There's a good little moment which I do enjoy where he picks up the watch and he just has a moment. He just has like a second of the Doctor just shining through, and then he just like, and then he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck was that? That was terrifying."
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Because someone asked what how does it work? Do you just open it? And he's like, "Oh, well, the binary blah 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 of whatever the fuck."
Yeah.
And he does he falls back into again, a talent to fucking 10. I'm sure we said this. Actually, last week we said it less so in a more serious nature, but like it was where he was able to say in the behind the scenes thing the dingle dangle bingle bongle and then slip straight back into the Doctor.
Yeah, but I watched that like after we got the episode, and it is literally like less than a second between them.
It's wild.
Like yippity two, yippity ta, yippita pitita, and 23. Don't let
But like that, but that's and he does that here, but obviously it's in such a more heartbreaking thing, and obviously it's actually in the episode as well, where he just slips back into 10 just for a second, and you go, "Oh, this guy really is alien, isn't he?" You forget. It's great. The I like the moment where he gets the watch and he's like, he just has that moment of like selfishness that I don't think John Smith is the kind of man that would go through with that anyway. But just that moment
where he says he can give it to them, give them the watch,
and he's willing to do it just because he's you panic, don't you? And we saw earlier he's a man that's like racked with fucking indecisiveness and doesn't know what to do in times of crisis. So it would occur to you to save yourself.
But then Joan reads the book and figures out that that's not really going to work, because if that is the case, then the family will just live forever and just burn everything, basically. So. You gotta die, John. I'm sorry, but you gotta die.
That's the sad kind of climax of it. That it kind of all. I mean, like the actual resolution to the episode happens very quickly. Most of the emotional.
We don't even see it really.
Not really.
We don't even see the change. It happens off screen. But I do like the moment like he shares with Joan where they have the shared vision. What could have been? What could have been their life together and everything like that, which is. More heartbreak on top of it all, really.
Yeah, basically. My exact note reads, "The flash forwards are heartbreaking. I cried." And then I don't even know what I wanted to say with this, but this is how just broken I was after seeing it. My next point is just his entire life, full stop. And I stopped writing. But like, just, there's something about it. You do see his entire life play out and you just wish it were possible.
Yeah.
Like, the Doctor lives long enough. Could he not just let John Smith live a life? Like, what's fucking 70 years or whatever?
But then what? Then
I know he had to stop the stupid family, but I get it.
that's the curse of the Doctor. He's got to go on. So other people can have that life, but not him. Yeah.
We spoke about this as well already, but the first of what's that meme where like it's weird that it happened twice, where it's like
it's from Phineas and Ferb. If I had a nickel for every time something happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It's that, right? It's that with the 10th Doctor in old man makeup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And different old man makeup.
I don't get the different old... Well, I get it, because it's different episodes, and it's, different... What? No, it's the same production crew, but like...
John Smith is a different entity. He would have aged differently. He might have had different life experiences that maybe caused him to have different, darker eyebrows. I don't know either. I just know that it looked great. It did look very good.
Probably could have saved themselves some money and just like when they was filming Last of the Time Lords, just got him in some pajamas for a moment and just lay in this bed for a second. We'll get some pickups.
With John Sim on the Valiant set and everything.
Yeah, they could have done that.
That's true.
They definitely could have done that.
It was all in a warehouse anyway, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Well, this probably weren't. This was probably on location somewhere.
Yeah, most of this was really. So then he goes to visit the family, and we're not quite sure what's going on. It seems like, oh, he is just giving up the watch. He's taking the coward's way out, and he's choosing. John Smith is choosing to give them the watch and then fuck off, I guess. But
and then you see that little fool.
Yeah.
That little fool he does.
It's not it's the second fall. It's the one where he gets pushed. But then he reaches his arm out as he gets pushed, and he flips all those switches. And like, nah, there's something going on here. There's something shenanigans.
Fishy.
Yeah. They keep showing all these buttons being pressed.
And I'll tell you what, Nathan, they really shouldn't have let him press all those buttons.
It's a great reveal. It's just a really good moment where he does go from John to just the, whoa, I think the real question is, and it's like, yes, we are so back, baby.
I said, like, I wrote down, you get all of the 10 mannerisms, the lean in, the glasses, the eyebrows, the smirk, the sniff, and the neck twist, all in like 2 lines. And it's like, oh, we're so back, baby. Let's go. And also, what's worse is the episode makes you forget how much of a prick he is in this.
He's such a prick.
Because he's back and the music swells and you're like, dun, 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 yeah, let's fucking kill these guys.
Yeah, you do get like a lot of Tennant just like straight, like a lot of the 10th Doctor just like thrown at you straight away. I really like the moment where he puts on the glasses, but then he does a little tap on like the vent and he like kind of listens to it and he's like, oh, I really don't like the look of your like thermal exhaust or whatever sort of thing. Oh, he's so good. He's really good at that.
It's really good. And we've always said that one of the main strengths of Ten is that he's Tennant's ability for like physical performance is unmatched. Like just how he's able to just tinker and touch and play with stuff around him is unparalleled.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. And it's what I'm saying is right. Ten's return is triumphant.
Yeah.
But it's just so sad.
It's sad, but it's also scary because then the scene that follows is
some ethical conundrums here. This
is the hero of the kids show that we're watching. This is Doctor Who because it's dark and brutal, and it's dark and brutal in ways that I didn't even realize as a kid. Like watching this as a 29-year-old man, I'm like, holy shit, this is intense. This is very just that shot where you have, after the explosion and there's the Doctor just looking down at them.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, and then what happens, what does he do? So the father gets wrapped in unbreakable chains and like shoved down a shaft somewhere. The mother gets tripped into some kind of like a black hole sort of situation.
Just straight up pushes her out the tunnel.
Yeah. The daughter is trapped in every single mirror in the universe, apparently.
Right. Quick one before we go on to Son of Mine. Right. This is unfair.
Okay.
Right. This one. Not to the daughter of mine, whatever. She's a murderer. I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's terrifying to see what the 10th Doctor's willing to do, but like they do deserve punishment, but like, not not to that degree. My point is, right, and you have to keep in mind that the episode following this is Blink.
Yes.
So in a 2-week time period, 2 everyday things that I would see growing up in London.
Yeah.
Right. There's mirrors in everyone's houses, and there's a million stone things all over the UK.
Yeah.
They fucked them both for me in the span of 2 weeks, forever. Because I don't like it that now, it's still, to this day, if I look in a mirror and I see like a fly goes behind me and I'm like, oh my God. And then I always remember that creepy voice just going, every time you think you see someone in the background, that's her. Yeah. It's always her. I'm like, fuck, I hated it. It's terrifying.
It's good. It's good stuff. And then Son of Mine Baines just gets, he said he gets suspended in time and then put to work guarding the fields of England as their protector. He's a scarecrow. He's just dressed up as a scarecrow and just there for eternity. Just, I guess, just watching which is so fucking dark when you think about it. And then there's the line with the narration from Baines, and that's how we realized what was doing, like what the Doctor was doing. He wasn't running or hiding. He was being kind. He was giving us a chance to not go through this. And it's like, fuck, man, that's why he went through all this hassle. The doctor was being kind to them, and they forced his hand. They removed that from him, and now he's like, I tried to be nice, but now be a scarecrow.
It's that, and genuinely some of the best writing in the Revival series up to this
genuinely
point.
So fucking good. Yeah,
it's just and also like again, what that actor can do. Harry Lloyd, his name was, the son of mine.
Yeah,
like that monologue is so depressingly haunting and monotone, and like phenomenal fucking voiceover work from him as well. But like it just the notion of that he was giving them a chance. His mercy was to not fight them.
Yeah.
And give them that opportunity. Yeah. Fucked. Absolutely wild. I love like when it boils down to it, this entire episode is kind of about life in general. Like the Doctor's lived so long that he kind of loses himself to that every now and again. John Smith is literally allowed 2 months to live. And then there's also a thing in like the pursuit of life just condemns you. The pursuit of eternal life will just leave you a monster, essentially.
Yeah, 100%. It's quite scary because it's the first time, especially in New Who, that we really see what the Doctor is capable of. Like we see the brutality. This is something that can come up a little bit later, especially in the Moffat era. We do get more glimpses of this, of like the darkness of the Time Lords, and you know, he's not always Peter Capaldi at one point, he has a line which I absolutely fucking adore, which is, the Doctor is no longer here, you're stuck with me. And it's so fucking good. It's just like, it's our first little taste of that, like what he is actually capable of and what he can do, and it's quite frightening, really. Yeah,
for sure. And then, like, obviously that is all very traumatizing, like seeing what he's willing to do to those aggressors.
Yeah.
But then I'd argue what's more frightening is just how fine he seems. After all of this. Yeah.
He just goes to see Joan, and what I love about this scene when it's the Doctor and Joan as opposed to John and Joan, he's obviously a very different man, and that's quite evident in the mannerisms and the way David plays it. But you know, he's like he's almost too happy. Yeah, he's too happy and gleeful, and he's like, he's still here, you know, he's in here somewhere. You could come with me. We can have a good time together. And then the way she just fucking calls him out and is like, if you hadn't have chosen this place on a whim and just come here willy-nilly for the fun of it, would anyone have died? And just the look on his face, just the realization, and just the way it dawns on him, and he leaves and doesn't even look back at her when he leaves. Oh, so good, man. It's when he gets called out on his toxic behaviour. Yeah. And he's like, oh. He had 2 strikes. I was practically shouting at the fucking TV when he was doing this. Like, he had 2 strikes in that. The first one was to walk in and be like, come with me, baby, let's travel. And it was like very much a case of, come and travel, come and see the universe or whatever. And she was like, oh, that's good. Yeah, I'll parade about the universe with the face of my dead would-be husband. Yeah. Like, and then the second thing that struck a nerve is everything that John Smith ever was. He's in here somewhere. And it's like, what a haunting thing to fucking say. Yeah. What really a terrifying thing to conceptualize in the mind of a person who doesn't live in present day, cannot conceive of most technology and stuff like that. Like, it just, what a horrible thing for her to visualize. It's not me, but he's kind of here, I guess. So yeah, come on. It makes you picture like the Get Out, the sunken place. Is John Smith in there consciously screaming to fucking get out? Or like what? Like how would she perceive that? It's such a fucked up thing to say. Yeah, but insane. I felt like he probably should have thought about that for 2 minutes before he went in there. But go check with Martha. Martha seemingly knew he went to visit her. Yeah. I think maybe she thought he was more evolved than this. Maybe. He does seem a little baffling. But yeah, so obviously he's a coward, so he just leaves.
He literally just leaves.
He just leaves, yeah. Which is fair enough. And then nice little moment with Martha where he like thanks her for everything, and they awkwardly brush over the fact that she told him she loves him and that sort of stuff.
And that's another thing as well. Again, a coward move not to even acknowledge that. In fairness, like give Martha an open forum to talk about something.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, oh yeah, I don't remember anything like that. Anyway, where do you want to go? Let's go.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say, I had this opinion. I don't want to get too into it because it's technically from an episode in the future. This is the last we see of Joan Redford.
This is the last we see of Joan Redford. Yes, not the actress.
Not the actress,
Yes.
and not the final note of this connection in a way.
No, we'll get one more little taste of it in the End of Time Part 2. Yes, but
and I always thought to myself, why would he not? Why is it a relative in present day? And then I always thought, why wouldn't he just go back to her? And then this episode made me reconsider and go, because she wants nothing to fucking ever do with this guy ever again.
Yeah,
and he's ashamed. He runs away, tail between his legs, and he's terrified to go back to her.
What she says? She says to him, "He was braver than you." In the end,
Yeah.
I think she says, "You chose to live. He chose to die," which is just really puts it into perspective, really. And it's kind of true, really.
It's very true.
Kind of true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big old coward doctor. Call you out on your shit. I like it when he gets called out on his shit. It doesn't happen much, but it's interesting. It's interesting.
Also, this is I guess, I mean, we've seen it before, but the first part in the historic humbling of the 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
That he has to kind of go through. So
he does go through.
There's a reason he is the shortest lived Doctor.
The shortest, but the vainest. The one who loved himself the most. But.
And that's telling. That is very telling, especially with this episode.
Yeah.
Older Tim.
Oh yeah, then there's some more stuff or whatever, and then
there's some other stuff that let's be honest, should have not been in the episode.
The whole war thing, the one where he's like in a war with Hutchinson, that episode always seems strange to me because they kind of like built up towards it. Like we see that several times over the 2-parter, but never like the resolution. We always see like a little bit at a time and then looking up and then there's the bomb coming and like, oh, what's going to happen? And the big resolution is they step to the right.
They literally walk 2 paces to the right.
And then it's like, we're saved. And I'm like, all right.
And also like there's something I know we played the game yesterday and I took an L when you correctly guessed he was 17 years old, but we both agreed that he looks like fucking 11.
It wasn't yesterday.
Was I say yesterday?
You said yesterday.
It wasn't yesterday.
It actually wasn't. This makes it sound like we're recording these back. We're actually not.
We're genuinely
it's
not.
genuinely a few days.
I misspoke. Okay.
No, he's a little boy of 17. I can believe that. Also, he says, what did he say to Hutchinson? Didn't I promise you all those years ago? Wasn't it last year?
1 year ago. Yeah. Well, this could be in the war a little bit.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, it could be further down. They never explicitly say that is 1914, do they?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll buy that then. Fair enough.
My thing more is that he sounds like a child playing soldier when he's like, and get up on your feet. That's an order. I'm like, you're 12, bro.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of the point? Boys went to war.
Yeah, but he just seems like a loser. I don't know. There's something about it. I'm just like, it just seems like a child. They could have chosen an older looking 17-year-old.
No, that's the point. He's boys went to war.
I know, I get it, but it sounds silly. Okay. And then the episode. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm illiterate when it comes to any form of like media analysis or whatever. Right? But
yeah, you are.
Thank you. What's the point of any of it? Of any of Tim's stuff in this? I know his connection with the watch. I get that.
This is what I was saying last week. The whole thing with him having the gift of prophecy. There's no reason for it. He just has it. We say this is a great written episode. Yeah, in some parts. In others, not so much because
in the B storyline that should have obviously been cut, it shows its stretch.
Tim was really just a way for the Doctor to lose the watch for half an hour and then for him to get it back later. That's kind of the purpose that he served, really.
Yeah, basically. And I don't know, I find it weird that he's like, this is not the time that they die, whatever, right? And then he's obviously receiving his incredibly small case parade or whatever, right? World War One and World War Two veterans, that back in the day, they got the red carpet rolled out for him. This guy, just like a local roundabout, has put up a fucking poppy.
I think I don't think that's necessarily like a parade for him. I think it's just a remembrance service.
Oh, well, he's just there to pay his respects.
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily for him exclusively. I think it's just a November remembrance service or whatever.
Oh, okay. So he's put his poppy on and off he went.
Exactly.
Oh, the Doctor puts on a poppy as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I like the. I don't. It seems weird because he sees them and then the passage being read from the. I'm not religious, but I don't know. The passage that was being read was about eternal aging and life.
The passage that's been read is a very specific one that's read out during remembrance services for military personnel.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I just don't know what it's trying to say. I just don't. I don't get it.
I think it's a bit of. It's also I think you have to take into account the context of the era in which this came out as well, because. The Iraq-Afghanistan war was still very much going on at this time.
That's true.
And there was still, especially in the UK, there was still a big focus on remember at COVID when it was all nurses are heroes, nurses are our heroes. At this time, it was all very much our soldiers are our heroes and this type of stuff. Right. And that was very much the sort of ongoing thing, really.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, I guess it checks out. They probably wanted the Doctor in a poppy for some. Promo, didn't they? Yeah, really. All right, yeah, fair enough. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't spoil the episode for me at all. I think there's just a point in the episode where I could have turned off and I would have missed 2 minutes that meant not much to me.
Yeah.
The overall story. Did we get any thoughts, any tweets about this episode?
No, I didn't, because I didn't ask. I forgot.
Let's make some up. Sally writes...
hey guys, I love the podcast, and you two are very handsome and sexy.
Oh wow, thank you, Sally.
Wow,
that's very kind to say. Thanks for deciphering our appearances through the podcast.
Yes. Anyway, we got one more thing to do.
Weirdo of the Week. Weirdo.
This is a section of the show, and it's everyone's favourite section where we get to take a look back at some of the weird and shut up and wonderful lovely little characters, fuck off, who come across our screen each and every week, and we celebrate them or whatever the fuck we do. I'm going first this week. Fuck you for that.
Fair enough.
My weirdo for this week is the 10th Doctor himself.
Fuck you, it was going to be mine.
Oh, no. It might be the same reason. Who knows?
Yeah, I have a backup. It's fine. Do yours.
Okay. My 10th Doctor is my weirdo for the fact that once he's changed back and he goes to see Joan, he invites her to come along with him. And again, I said it earlier, maybe he should have thought about this conversation for more than 2 minutes before he actually went and have it. Because, first of all, how did he think this was going to go? And also, just what does he think is going to happen with Martha? And he's got Martha and Joan in the TARDIS together. How does he think that situation is going to go for him, really?
He's just a prick.
He's such a fucking dickhead, man. He's such a cunt in this episode. And then the audacity to, essentially try and recruit Martha's replacement and then just go to her and give her a big hug. And then it's oh, what a prick, man. What an absolute prick he is.
Big time prick.
Well, sure, but I'm interested to know your backup.
My backup. Are you familiar with the blood thinks he's part of the team meme?
Yes, I am. The Drake in like some sort of football coach thing.
Tim.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. I would have gone with that one. You should have gone with that one. Blood thinks he's part of it. That is funny.
He's just always there. He's like the doctor's fire and ice and rage. I'm like, shut up, man.
No, I like that little speech. That's good.
It's a good speech, but like he's heard whispers through a watch, and he's too eager to get amongst it.
Blood thinks he's part of the team. Oh, that is very funny. I enjoy that. All right, yeah, perfect.
That's
Yeah,
my
I'd go with
weirdo.
that one. Take that one as your official. Take that.
Okay.
A meme, I guess, is your weirdo for me.
That's the thing. It doesn't work without that meme.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's good though. It's good. Big week next week.
Oh, I'm so excited for next week.
I'm
It's
scared.
unbelievable.
I'm very scared. It's spooky time.
I've watched Blink twice. Once when it aired,
Yeah.
and I didn't sleep that night. I remember it
Yeah.
so. Actually, I remember the night. I'll save the night and my story surrounding the night for next week. A bit of
A
sizzle.
little bit of sizzle for next week. It's going to be a spooky time. Watch Blink if you're brave enough. Honestly, I don't blame you because
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the full Blink experience. I think I'm going to wait until like 2 a.m. and watch it in the
2 a.m.?
dark. Yeah.
That's a so good.
I mean, it does get dark before that, but I want the full nighttime experience.
It gets dark at like 7 o'clock now. Like, I'm excited for next week for a few different reasons, which we'll get into.
We've both sizzled. We've both left a sizzle.
A little bit of sizzle. So come back next week.
Indeed, do. And
on,
guess
do
what
your
you can do in the meantime while you're waiting to come back next week? You can mosey on over to Twitter at StillGotLegsPod. Most of the time, although we didn't showcase it in this, we normally ask for people's thoughts on the episode, read some out, get some insights that maybe we hadn't considered. So do consider coming on over there. If not, there's an email that's all over the Twitter. You can go find that and let us know your thoughts. That'd be great.
It's in the description below.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's still got podcast@gmail.com, but that might be wrong, so it's below.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's below. You don't even have to leave this platform. And speaking of not leaving the platform, you don't want to without leaving us a lovely review. It'd be very, very kind if you could go and give this a little 5-star. And the show, maybe share it out to your mates. Doctor Who is going through a change in leadership, and it's a very exciting time in the build-up to the 60th anniversary.
New trailer coming out next week, it seems.
Ooh, there
Next
you go.
Saturday, new trailer coming out. So
We're all leaving sizzle this week.
potentially getting some air dates for the 60th as well, so
Good shit.
exciting times.
I am indeed excited, and you should be too. And we have another podcast, Nathan.
We do. It's called Another Happy Pod. We're about to record an episode right now, and it's our latest episode, which is all... Is it our latest episode? No, it's not, because our latest episode has already been recorded, and it's already out. And that is the finale of our look through at the Hunger Games series. We recently went through all the Hunger Games movies, 3 episodes on those, so you can go check those out. And next week, we are doing Hairspray, so... Fun times all around. Great variety. You get fascism and rebellions and children starving, and then you get musicals, which are seemingly just a fun little song and dance, but then also about the heart of racism and the civil rights movement. So it's a fun time for all.
Look, we're not going to apologise for being too progressive, okay?
We won't. Yeah, we refuse.
We don't mind talking about the hard issues while also rocking out to some tunes.
Yeah, we're too woke, if anything.
Exactly. Oh, even in context, I have to specify that I hate that word so much.
So do I. I can't stand it.
Goodbye,
To
everyone. Merry
woke
Doctor
blokes.
Who.
Merry Doctor Who to you, to your family, and to everyone else who celebrates. This has been Still Got Legs. Stay Hoovy.